If you have a toddler in your home, you know Cocomelon is on repeat all day long. We have grown to love JJ, Tom Tom, and Yo Yo, and now a fan favorite Nina is the star of her own spin-off series. Lilliana Vazquez here, Cocomelon spokesperson to chat all about Nina's Familia. Thank you so much for your time today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
We are a Cocomelon household, and this is just fantastic news, especially for National Hispanic Heritage Month.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is the first bilingual series from the Cocomelon franchise, and there's even going to be some episodes fully in Spanish. So Nina's Familia, it's incredible news. I mean, I'm somebody who's half Mexican, half Puerto Rican, and being able to see this level of representation on screen is just unbelievable for me and for my family.
I mean, it's one of those things because I'm also a parent of a toddler. I mean, I'll show you a couple of the things that we have laying around in our house a little bit later on. But I remember those things, being represented and the representation, not having those when I was a kid and not seeing that until later and getting to see her getting to experience this so young in life. Like, it's so amazing.
It really, I mean, it's just so cool, right? Like I was starving for this when I was a little kid. I didn't know it, right? But now as a mom, like I think, wow, like it's amazing that he obviously is exposed to our culture every day, right? I speak in Spanish to him. My mom is such a huge part of his life. We eat a lot of these foods, but it's different to know that that's what happens in your house. But then to see it on TV, you're like, wait, other people do that. So it's really, really special. And for me, I think the most special part of the show is really how much attention and thought and detail went into authentically representing a Mexican American family on screen through Nina's Familia. It's beautiful to see.
And we're going to get new episodes weekly on the Cocomelon YouTube channel. Tell us a little bit, because it's a multi-generational family. Who are we going to see in
Yes.
Nina's Familia?
So obviously Nina's mom, her dad, her siblings, and of course her grandmother. I think about how I grew up, and in many cultures, grandparents live with the parents that live with the grandchildren, right? It's all different generations mixing and blending. And there is something really so special about that. So seeing that on screen with Nina and her grandmother is really special. And I also think it's so cool to be able to see some of those traditions come to life on screen. Things like Dia de los Muertos, I always say, is one of my favorite holidays. It's since I was a little girl. And I remember trying to explain it to people, being like, it's kind of like Halloween, but it's not, because it's not spooky. It's not scary. It's like honoring the people that have died. We have altars and flowers. People are like, what are you talking about? Now it's obviously so much more present, but there's an entire episode really just about that. Holidays like Noche Buena, right? Being able to show that on screen, and also just watching the show and looking at what's Nina's family eating? What are they cooking? What are the meals that they're sharing? Because especially in Latinx culture, food is how we express our love for each other, right? It's how we bring our community together. So that's exactly what's happening. So those stories that were happening in my house growing up are now happening on screen, and I can share them with my 2-year-old.
And the nice thing too about that is that people can see themselves on television, get to see themselves represented in what their family looks like. But also, if you're trying to learn a second language, kids pick up everything, and this is a great way too, especially for those family, not Spanish speaking households that are like, we want to teach our kids Spanish. Here's a wonderful introduction.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, think of this as a tool, a language tool, right? For your home, even not just toddlers. If you have children that are older, that are 5, 6, 7, and you want to introduce language to them, or even as parents, you want to pick up a few Spanish words, like watch this together, make this a co-viewing experience where you get to learn a little bit more about Nina's Familia and how her family can be incorporated into, like, those traditions can be incorporated into your family. So it's an amazing show, obviously, for Latinx families to be able to see themselves on screen, but it's also an incredible show to add more diversity and representation into the content that your children are watching.
Let's talk a little bit about the songs that we're going to hear in Nina's Familia. Are they the same songs that we might hear in the English version translated into Spanish? Are we
Yes.
getting different songs? Tell us a little bit about what we can, because these are going to be stuck in my head. So I just want to know what I'm in for.
I know. I love that you said that, because you're right. Anybody that has listened to Cocomelon or that watches the show knows that those nursery rhymes get lodged in your head, and you are singing them when your toddler's at school and it's just grown-ups around. That is me for sure. And so, yes, this will be a mix, right? That's what's so beautiful about this series, is you're going to get those classic 3-minute nursery rhymes that are so catchy, so helpful to help children learn routines and learn about different experiences, learn about emotions. But you're also going to get really classic Spanish language ones, like songs like Dale, Dale, Dale. That's something I grew up with. ¿Dónde estás, estrellita? Like those kinds of nursery rhymes in Spanish. I cannot wait to see the day where like all little kids are singing da 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 on a playground. Like that's going to be like the best day of my life.
Awesome. Well, I love that, but I also love, that kids get to play and use their imagination at home. I mean, I just looked at my table and I have like yo-yo, we have like the Coco, JJ pajamas, the JJ doll. I mean, even like getting ready for the holidays. I have this big box right here. But tell me about the Nina
You're gonna
merchandise.
have to get some Nina. Okay, so there's tons of Nina merchandise. I have one of my favorites right here. So this is a Squishmallow right here. This is the Nina doll. She's so squishy and delicious. And then this right here, of course, is our talking Nina doll, who I love. She's our Cocomelon, my friend Nina. She has her bunny, which she absolutely loves. And she sings and talks. My son loves pushing on her belly. He was doing it last night. And I also said to him, I said, Nina speaks Spanish like mommy and Gaga, my mother. And I was like, you are going to learn so much Spanish too with Nina. And he was like, yeah. And so he was pushing her belly and she was talking in English. And he's like, no, Spanish. Because he wants her to sound like mommy.
That is amazing. We got a chance to chat last year during the holiday season. We did a holiday preview. So hopefully we'll get a chance to chat maybe in a couple of weeks and get to see, more of the Nina merchandise and some of the Cocomelon merchandise that's going to be available this holiday season. Because once kids get hooked on the series, they're going to want, these toys, around the holiday time.
No question about that. And I love that your daughter loves Cocomelon and that it's an everyday part of your household. It's just like same here, same.
I mean, even the times where like I try to escape it, like I just wanted to do some laundry and listen to some Taylor Swift and the Cocomelon songs came on. I didn't even realize it because I hear them so much that I was like, this isn't dance music. This is her music.
It is the soundtrack to our home.
That is the soundtrack to our home. And we're ready to add some new songs from Nina's Familia too into that mix. Lilliana, always so great to chat with you. Go ahead and check out Nina's Familia. New episodes weekly on Cocomelon's YouTube channel. And we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds great. Thank you for having me. Good to see you.
Thank you so much. You too.